Hi, and welcome back to Inspired Alchemy with Lizzie. This is episode 75. And I was told by a friend this week that that would be your diamond episode. And while I was trying to figure out what I'm supposed to record, I was like, that's kind of perfect because how are diamonds made under pressure? And so I'm going to go into some things I feel called to share. And part of that is going to be my process as of late of being present and just allowing. I feel like I'm at this pivotal moment, this threshold, and it's pressure and transformation and softness and presence and surrender. And I've learned a lot during the last, I would say, probably about 3 weeks, where I have been anchoring into love and presence instead of pressure. And pressure has become softer, more understanding. And this is the alchemy of becoming gold. Alchemy is not about forcing transformation. It's about allowing it, being present in the process, not continuing to look for the next thing to fix you because you're not broken. It's not the next thing that is going to make things make sense. It's about existing where you are and who you are. Because in that moment, you'll never be that person again. And you're moving and growing forward and evolving. So diamonds are pressure plus time, and gold is refinement through fire. And fire has been coming up so much lately. So many people are talking about fires that they've seen, things that have happened, and it all correlates and aligns with what I'm seeing, feeling, all of these things. Pressure alone doesn't create diamonds. Time, patience, and stability do. And gold is not created by panic in the fire, but by surrendering to it and allowing it to soften you. That being said, my whole week has been rooted in listening to a playlist a friend sent to me. And in that playlist, there have been so many songs that I forgot about, even songs from the 80s that when they play, I'm like, oh my goodness, yes. And then I've been realizing that for some reason, Elton John has a huge, whenever his songs come on, maybe it's a frequency that's in it, I'm not sure. But whenever it comes on, or whenever the songs come on, I'm like, oh man, that hits. And then I go, oh my God, that's Elton John again. Like, what is going on? And there are so many songs that I have not heard that I have just fallen in love with. And it's about love, loss, and things like that. And so very anchored in presence and in love, and I guess very much Pisces season. I don't know. Again, I don't talk about astrology that much, so it is what it is. But listening to that and then kind of staying present in where I am, and different reels and posts that I've seen have really kind of opened some things up for me. Conversations I've had with people and have really shown me maybe some ways that I'm supposed to move forward. And there was a post that I saw today, and it kind of inspired me to kind of go through kind of like a dialogue of what a child would think, like what your inner child would think, or the child version of yourself, to maybe a young adult to now. So children are full of wonder and they're full of curiosity, and they have like big dreams. And when we start to move into young adulthood, we put all of this pressure on ourselves that we have to do, and we have to grind, and we have to hustle, and we have to go, and we have to all of the things that we should be doing, that society tells us that we're supposed to do. And then, I don't know, maybe you hit your 40s like me, and you start to realize that the world should not be about pressure. And whether or not you believe in reincarnation or not, if you think about it, we only get this one life. We remember this one life. We learn through experience and play, and none of us are doing that anymore. We have so much pressure on ourselves to perform. Everything is performance that we forget what we actually need. And I think about, again, the song Vienna from Billy Joel. It has been huge in this process for me. And I'm so grateful for that song and for music in general. But we put so much pressure on ourselves to do. For what? So that we can keep up with the Joneses? So that we can show society we're succeeding? But what is success? And that's for you to answer. It's not for me to tell you. But I know what my version of success is. And no matter how much money we're making, no matter how many toys we have, and I say toys, but they're things. And I'm not saying material possessions aren't bad, are bad, but we forget so much. We work for these things, and then we forget to play with them. We forget to play with life. And we're just continuing to push to the next thing. And where's your freedom in that? So going back to the post, I wrote down some things that, yes, were in the post, but then I wrote down a couple of my own things of a conversation that maybe I would have with my younger self. And I will go over them with you. Sorry, I'm moving paper. So when we think about, God, work is so stressful, your younger self would be like, we actually have a job? We're working? What are we doing? Why are we stressed? And then we would think about, oh, I'm stressed, but look at these beautiful things I have around me. And I know that as an entrepreneur, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I have no problem saying that. Oh boy, I'm full of extra noises for you today. I have no problem saying I have no idea what I'm doing, because younger me wanted so many things. She wanted a coffee shop, and she wanted an event venue, and she could see all of these beautiful things for herself. And in a child's wonder and curiosity, we don't think about, how do I do that? It's not until we get older, or then we forget about our dreams. And now that I'm older and I'm starting to work on these things, I'm like, I'm stressed out, but I'm becoming the person I always wanted to be. And how beautiful is that? To be under pressure for the things that I never thought that I'd have. Do I need to bring more play into my life? Absolutely. I'm a very, very playful person at heart. I'm goofy, I'm dorky, I'm all of these things that you tend not to see from me on social media, or maybe even through this podcast. But that's who I am. And for a long time, I forgot that because I was told I had to be serious. I had to work a certain way. I worked in construction for a long time. And in that kind of world, I had to be someone I'm not. And I had to harden. And I'm learning to soften again. That leads me into the next thing. It's like, oh, I'm so behind in life. Behind? What are we doing? Are we growing? Are we evolving? Is it really cool? Is it magic? Tell me everything. That's what the young version of you wants to know. And what is behind anyways? Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody. And if they say they know exactly what they're doing, I want you to take a good hard look at them. And when we talk about needing a vacation, all of us want to build a life that we don't need a vacation from, where our whole life is just travel and experiences and all of these things. But that being said, when it's like, oh, I need a vacation, but your younger self would be like, we travel? Where do we go? Is it road trips? Are we stopping? What are we doing? Do we actually get on planes? Like what? And they want to know. And so we change our mindset to go, oh, wow, yeah, I get to do those things. How freaking cool is that? One of the things I saw in the post was, I miss my best friend. And in the post, it said, oh my God, we still talk to her? How's she doing? But for me, people have come and gone so much out of my life that I've had a lot of best friends and a lot of dear friends, and I still have them. I still have them at this age. And I say that in that way, and which is interesting because as we get older, we don't think about having a best friend. We're just trying to survive, I think. And this may or may not make sense. But again, people have come in and out of my life so much. And I don't just have one best friend or one dear friend. The people in my life now are just absolutely amazing human beings. Am I closer to some people than others? Yeah. Have I had best friends in the past that are no longer with me? Yeah. Whether they've left this earth or they've just left my frequency. There are people that I've lost. And again, it goes back to love, loss, and less. And it's actually such a beautiful thing to be able to meet these people and to have your perspectives opened up. It's a beautiful part of alchemy. In the post, one of the statements was, I miss my mom. And that one actually kind of hit me because if you've listened to my other episodes, I don't have a relationship with my mother. Not because I don't love her, but because just as human beings, it's just a very toxic, ever since I was born, a very toxic situation. So it's not that I don't love her. We just can't coexist within the same spaces. And that's okay. That's not her fault. That's not my fault. It just is what it is. And it's unfortunate, but I've learned to accept it. So my little self would probably be like, what's happening there? And I would tell her exactly that. It's not easy. What's happening with mom? It's not easy. It's complicated. It took some really hard decisions to make. It took people telling me I was wrong for what I was doing. But when I got around my mother, and when my daughter got around my mother, it just wasn't good. And this is not bad mouthing my mom. Sometimes it is just that way. So if you're going through something like that with a parent or a sibling or a loved one or people who are supposed to be blood family, just know that if you made that decision, I know that it did not come lightly. And you are loved and supported. One of the other things that it talked about in the post, it talked about love. And the little one asked, did we fall in love? Was it like a fairy tale? To which the adult said, it's complicated. But is it really that complicated? I put out episode 73 about love and the different types of love. We have complicated it as human beings. But love itself is not complicated. We live in a society where love has been complicated because we are told that it's supposed to look or act or be a certain way instead of just allowing it to exist in the form in which it takes. So yes, little me, the world tells us it's complicated, but you know better. The next thing was, I'm a business owner. It's so hard. Little me, like I discussed, would have been like, we did it? We finally did it? What are we doing? And while I would tell her, I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm working on it. As I grow and evolve, yes, we own two businesses. We own Inspired Alchemy and we own Black Cathedral. And we have one trademark and we are working on a second. I'll know in March whether or not I'm going to have to stand up for my soul and Black Cathedral. But more will come on that. But yes, I would tell my little one, yeah, baby girl, we made it. We made it to a part where we didn't think that we would. We made it past an age we didn't think that we would. And even though we don't know what we're doing right now, we're working every single day to make our dreams come true. And that's what I would tell her. Even if I think being a business owner is hard and I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm lucky enough to have people supporting me. And when I think back to the old versions of myself and I say, I kind of miss that. Little me would be like, we're still here? We're still growing? What's life like? And I would tell her it's beautiful. And all of its chaos. And no matter what people try to tell us or show us, it's still beautiful. And we live on a planet that is beautiful. And we can create realities of our own. And we can make our own friends. And we can choose our family. And we can choose differently in each moment to be different, to grow different. And we don't have to be who people tell us we need to be. Because we are safe being who we are in that exact moment. So I would tell my little self, even though I have a little bit of a hard time doing this myself, I would tell her to shine and don't stop shining. Which is exactly what I tell my daughter. Baby girl, don't lose yourself. Because getting yourself back is a challenge. Do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. Do it anyway. And speaking of my daughter, one of the things that I came up with was, oh my God, I love my daughter so much. Even through the challenges and the chaos it is to be a parent, especially in this day and age. I love her so much. And little me would be like, we had a kid? I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't expect that. We never wanted one. We were scared. We were scared to bring a kid into the world, and we were scared that we were going to hurt it, and all of these different things. To which I would tell her, yes, we were scared. But what haven't we done scared? Because my daughter has been the single most amazing thing that has ever happened to me. She is why I am where I am, and why I'm growing in the directions that I'm growing, and why I have the courage to keep going. Because I want to be a mother that she can look at and say, I saw my mom do it, so I know I can do it. So the same thing that I would tell my daughter, I would tell little me. You're not hard to love, and you're going to love your kid just fine. Don't be scared. Am I a perfect mom? No. Perfection doesn't exist. But do I try my damnedest every single day to be someone that my daughter can be proud of and that my little self can be proud of? Absolutely. And I will continue to work on that so that my 80 or 90-year-old self would be proud of me now. And this leads me into the last piece of this part. Is I don't know who I am becoming. Even though I love her, I don't know who that person is. To which my little one, my little self told me, but you're someone I would feel safe with now. And that's all that matters. My present self knows that there's a need for awareness, for pacing, for presence, for trusting the process, and surrender, and patience. And a lot of those words for us are dirty words. But that it just is. And sometimes they are for me too. Trust in the process, surrender to it, patience. It's like, what? Okay, but what does all of that mean? It's just, it's a big part of alchemy. All of those things. And as I move forward, I start to learn that. And I would tell my little self over and over again to remember these things. The child in me has the curiosity. The younger self that we grow into, the younger adult, thinks that we need to push, and that pressure meant to push harder, to hustle more, like I said. But now pressure means presence, holding steady, holding your nervous system. Younger me would have thought results mean worth. But now, results are alignment. Results create who we are. And our worth is not dependent upon what we can do. And this actually reminds me of a comment that I saw on a post. And I was like, I wonder why that stuck in my head. And it goes back to also, this is part of pressure as well. So bear with me. Compliments. How we accept compliments. And this was part of the connection session for group coaching on Tuesday. And it goes back to that self-worth part. That as kids, compliment, and even now we're complimented on what I can do versus who I actually am. We are taught so much and we're pressured so much into do that that's where our worth comes from. What we can do, how much we can accomplish, how hard we can push, how much we can hustle. But rarely are we ever complimented on who we are. So it's hard for us to accept that kind of praise, which in turn turns the whole idea of pressure into doing instead of just being in a soft space. Like I said, most people think that pressure is the grind, the fire is burnout, and that transformation is forced. But it's really the opposite. Pressure is containment and structure and softness. Fire is the purification and the transformation. And the transformation is awareness plus surrender. Alchemy is not self-destructive for the sake of growing. It's conscious. It's awareness. It's refinement. And it's unbecoming everything that we were told to be and becoming everything that we are meant to be. And I'm going to use a diamond metaphor. I'm not teaching anything. Obviously, I'm not a geologist, I'm not a gemologist, I don't know about these things. But what I do know is that diamonds take pressure and time to create. Immense pressure, long periods of time, deep placement beneath the surface, and stability. We try to rush who we are becoming. We try to take these big leaps and bounds. But the power is in the small, sustainable steps, which make the pressure bearable. And when it brings, I have so many music references in my brain this morning, but only fools rush in. We've got to look at things from a bigger perspective here. Diamonds form in the stillness of under pressure, not in self-attack. And in the chaos that is above them, the world going on, they still grow. And I think about Pressure, the song Pressure by Billy Joel, and Under Pressure by Queen. I'm giving you guys some music homework here. Your growth might feel like pressure, but it doesn't require you to attack yourself at all. And when we're hard on ourselves, which I'm still guilty of, it makes things so much harder. We cannot shame ourselves into change. We can only love ourselves into change. Gold is heated not to destroy it, but to remove impurities. And I'm not saying that you're impure, nothing like that. But what I'm talking about when I say impurities, it's the things that cloud our minds, the chatter of everybody telling us what we need to be, who we need to be, how success actually looks. That's what I'm talking about. The emotional triggers, identity shifts, the seasons of reinvention, just all of these things we're turning into gold as we kind of clear our minds and our bodies and our souls and our energy of everything that is not us. And the fire doesn't mean that you're failing. We need fire. We need the fire in our hearts and our souls. It just means that you're transforming. Up until recently, I thought I knew what presence meant. And my practitioner, he told me that I need to be more present. And at the time I was like, I am present. I don't, like, what are you talking about? But I thought that in my brain. And I thought it was a very interesting thing for him to say. But since then, I have focused on presence. Intentionally and unintentionally, my body just gave in and surrendered to presence. You're not reinventing from failure. You're refining from alignment. And alignment doesn't always make sense, and it doesn't always feel good. But it feels right. And by feeling good, I just mean it might be uncomfortable because you're going to have to do things that you may not have wanted to do. And then, again, this is where pressure comes in. We put pressure on ourselves when things start to get uncomfortable. But just what if you allowed yourself to feel into that? What if what you're feeling is not something wrong, but just resistance to becoming a new part or finding a new part of yourself and becoming who you are meant to be? And I've learned that presence is one of my greatest tools, one of the alchemist's greatest tools. It's not force, it's not urgency, and it's not panic. I do sometimes have those feelings still. I'm not perfect. I do put a lot of pressure on myself to be places on time, to do this, to do that. And then I think about it and I'm like, why? I take things seriously and I make sure that I'm places on time. But the pressure, the amount of pressure I put on myself, or even when my practitioner has somebody coming after me, I don't know what time it is. I'm not looking at my clock. And I feel like I have to rush and get up. And he's like, relax, move slowly. You're okay. And I have to always remember that. And I see that setting in sometimes, that pressure that I put on myself, that society has put on us to make sure that we're not in people's ways, to make sure that we're on time, all of these different things. But when I allow myself to soften, I can see what is happening in that exact moment. And presence in those moments allows for awareness, softness, and trusting in timing. And when I talk about softness, it does not mean being passive. I can't say the word, I can't get it out. It doesn't mean avoidance, and it doesn't mean weakness. What softness means is a regulated nervous system, awareness of cycles, trusting in timing, and allowing transformation without abandoning yourself. And that softness, which I didn't understand until now, is what allows pressure to shape you without breaking you. And over the past couple of weeks, I could have broken because all of these things came up at one time. And it was all stuff that I needed to purge. But I went through this whole cycle of feeling very, very deeply, to thinking I was numb and feeling nothing. But what I had done was opened up space in myself, stayed present, and I was able to soften even more and to really understand that I can do all of this and be soft and safe and transform without abandoning myself, who I am becoming, and what the universe is trying to show me. I was also told this week, or was it last week, that I talk about Black Cathedral all the time being this place that I want for people to be able to come and have community and things like that. But I was told I am the Black Cathedral. And that just doesn't stand for me. You are the Black Cathedral. You are your sacred space. You're a space that has power. It holds pressure and fire and grief and transformation and softness and joy and becoming. You hold all of this within you. None of this is outside of you. None of your power is outside of you. And we don't get our power from other people. We allow other people in. We bring down those walls, no matter how scary. And we allow people to hold us so that we can become. That doesn't mean the other people have the power. They have the capacity to hold while you embody everything that you are and everything you are becoming. Even though sometimes it feels like you're being crushed, you're not. You're being held within transformation. As I am shifting and growing, you're going to see how I am transforming. That means, and I've told you this before in other episodes, that as I grow and I evolve, my business and the podcast and everything that I'm doing grows and evolves as well. And I have to remember to be gentle with myself about these things because I know that they're going to shift and grow in ways that are going to make me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to have to show up in different ways. And it's going to It's going to be more. And I'm going to feel too much. And so I'll have to sit in that. And right now, as I'm shifting and growing, I'm seeing my business do the same. And right now, it's kind of at a standstill where my energy is because it's waiting for me to grow. It's waiting for me to step into what's next. I don't fully have that picture yet, but I will. And I have to remind myself to slow down. I'm doing fine and I can't be anything I'm supposed to be before my time. Listen to Vienna by Billy Joel. Look at all this music I'm giving you guys today. So for me, I'm realizing that sometimes alchemy looks like quiet seasons, the rest that we don't give ourselves. Remember, rest is not a reward. And in the quiet seasons where the world is silent, but your soul is reorganizing, and I'm not saying the world is silent like nothing's going on, it just feels like in your space, you're like, I don't know what to do next. This is integration. This is becoming. I do have a visualization that I want to do for you guys, but I'm actually going to post bonus content. And I'm going to start putting visualizations not in the podcast because I'm realizing it might be difficult for some of you. I want them in a place where they're easy to access. So I'm going to start putting those on YouTube and probably on the other streaming platforms as well. So I will be posting that along with this one, well, along with this episode. And yeah, because I wanted to make it easier for you guys to get to. And with that, I want to tell you that alchemy is not the art of forcing transformation. It is the devotion to staying present long enough to let pressure and time reveal the gold that's already within you. That being said, that's all I have for you for this today, for this topic. Thank you for being here for 75 episodes, for my diamond and gold episode. A couple of updates and things to know. We do have the Inspired Alchemy Collective on Facebook. I am working on getting WhatsApp groups because I know that they're a little bit more intimate. And things are growing and changing and evolving. I am going to be putting more Black Cathedral things out there. We also have the 5-day alchemical reset, which is just a 5-day, 5 to 7 day. It depends on if you want to do the intro on its separate day and the outro on its separate day. But it's 5 to 7 days. And there are some guided audios of me going through the guidebook. And it's very gentle, very polyvagal informed, obviously very, I want to say beginner level, but it's the best way I can describe it. You can do this if you've done a lot of nervous system work, or it's gentle enough to do it if you've never done any. And so that will be coming out. It's just taken me a little while to be able to put it into a place where again, there's no such thing as perfection, but I think it needs to come out in the right time. So keep on the lookout for updates from Inspired Alchemy and Black Cathedral. And I will end this like I end all of them. I want to remind you that you are not broken. In a society that tells us that we are broken, divided, disconnected, and all we see are terrible things on the news. We are not divided. You are not broken. We are not disconnected. And while things might seem bad, just illusions are falling. And focus on the good. I know it can be hard, but try to focus on the good. If you need help, you can reach out. And if it's not to me, You can reach out to a trusted healthcare professional, your therapist, somebody. But please know that you are not broken. The world is a better place with you here. You are magical, and you are loved, and you are worthy, and you are enough. Thank you for being here with me. This is Inspired Perpetual Alchemy. And until next time, keep going, alchemists. You've got this.